Welcome to part 5. This should be the last part, but we'll see how long it takes us to get through these questions. There may be a 6th part if we don't get to the end of this paper. So, next question. Question 26. A at the coordinate 0, 2 and B at 6, 5 are points on the straight line ABCD. AB equals BC equals CD. Work out the coordinates of D. This is telling you that they are equally spaced, which means that we're going to do this x coordinate and then y coordinate separately. So to get from the x coordinate of 0 to the x coordinate of 6, we've gone up by 6, which means that every time we move to the next letter, it's going to go up by another 6. So the x coordinate of C, 0 plus 6 is 6, plus another 6 is going to be 12, plus another 6 means the x coordinate of D is going to be 18. Same thing for the y. To get from 2 to 5 has gone up by 3. So if I go up another 3, we'll get to 8. And if I go up another 3, we will get to 11. So the coordinates of D is 18, 11. Question 27. A coin is thrown 50 times. It lands on heads 31 times. Write down the relative frequency it lands on heads. That's just a fancy way of saying probability, and therefore the probability it lands on heads from these numbers is 31 out of 50. That's it. Part B. Raj says the coin is biased towards heads. Use the data to give a reason why he might be correct. Well, in this case, if the coin was fair, you would have expected 25 out of the 50 because you'd expect a 50-50 split, an equal probability. So it would be 25 out of 50 if it was fair, but he actually got 31. So he got more heads than he would have expected, so it may be biased in favour of heads. This is the question that has the most changes compared to Maths Watch. So on Maths Watch, it just asks you to work out the probability of getting a head on a fair coin, and then it goes into the relative frequency. Question 28. Solve. 5 lots of x plus 3 is less than 60. This is exactly the same as solving a normal equation. First things first, we need to expand these brackets. So 5 lots of x plus 3, that's one single item being multiplied by 2 items. So that's 5 being multiplied by an x and a plus 3. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 3 is 15. So this question becomes 5x plus 15 is less than 60. Well, that's asking us what number, this number here, plus 15 would give us to 60. Well, 45 plus 15 is 60. So 5x is going to be less than 45. You can get that by subtracting 15 from 60 as well. And then if we've got 5 times something to give us 45, if we divide by 5, 45 divided by 5 is 9. So it's exactly the same method as a normal solving an equation. The only thing that's different is that instead of an equal sign, it's just put a less than sign there instead. There's no other differences. Question 29. The range of a set of numbers is 15 and a quarter. The smallest number is -2 and 7/8. Work out the largest number. You have a couple of choices here. You could turn these into decimals, or you can keep them as fractions. That's your choice. Now the range is the difference between the largest number and the smallest number. I'm going to put these on a number line just to make it absolutely clear what we're talking about. So -2 and 7/8 is going there. For context, the number 0 would be there, and the difference between the smallest number and this largest number that we're trying to find is 15 and a quarter, which means what you're actually trying to do is add 15 and a quarter to -2 and 7/8. So you're trying to do -2 and 7/8 plus 15 1/4. Now I'm going to do this as fractions rather than decimals. So in order to do this, we first of all need to make them into improper fractions. In order to do that, I say 2 times by 8 is 16, and 16 plus that 7 is 23. So that's minus 23 over 8. Plus 15 times by 4 is 60, plus that 1 is 61 over 4. In order to add two fractions together, the denominators, the bottom numbers, need to be the same. Now, I can just multiply this second fraction, both numbers, by 2, and that will turn that 4 into an 8, which will then match. So if I multiply 61 and 4, both by 2, I end up with the question of minus 23 over 8 plus 122 over 8. Now all I need to do is add the top numbers, so minus 23 plus 122. You can work that out, it becomes 99. You can think about that as 122 minus 23, that's 99 over 8. That is the largest number, 99 over 8. If you wish to simplify it though, you can ask yourself how many 8s are in 99. Well, that's 12. Because 12 8s is 96. And from 96 up to 99, that means we didn't use 3 of them, and that's 3 over 8. So the answer, the largest number, is 12 and 3/8. Question 30. Y is inversely proportional to X. This is very similar to the question before where we had 2 people painting a room in 6 hours and working out how long it will take for 3 people to do it. It means you can almost think of X as the number of people and Y as the time. If we have half the number of people doing a job, that means it will take double the amount of time. So if we're halving to get to 6 and that becomes 4 hours, that's going to be double the amount of time, which means that 4 is double 2. Inversely proportional just basically means that if we divide by 2 on the top, we have to multiply by 2 on the bottom. So to get from 4 to 8 is multiplying by 2, which means it's the same as the top. We're going to have to divide by 2 on the top. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Question 31. A large rectangle is made by joining 3 identical small rectangles as shown. The perimeter of one small rectangle is 15 centimeters. Work out the perimeter of the large rectangle. Right, you can see that one large section, so one length of this rectangle, is made up of 2 of the widths, which means that if we just take one rectangle on its own, that large section is the same as 2 of these widths. So is that bottom. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 widths is 15 centimeters, because that's the perimeter. So 6 widths is 15 centimeters, and so we can work out what one width is by dividing by 6. 15 divided by 6, how many 6s are in 15? Well, 2 6s is 12, which means we've got 3 that still needs to be divided by 6, and 3/6 is the same as a half, so that's actually 2.5 centimeters is one width. So the perimeter of the large rectangle, which is all of this put together, we now just need to work out how many widths that is. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's going to be 10 widths. So if one width is 2.5 centimeters, 10 widths is 25 centimeters. So there's the perimeter of the large rectangle. And finally, question 32. Put these numbers in order from smallest to largest. This is standard form. So the power of -4 means that there are 4 digits before that 8. Okay, so 4 digits before that 8 is going to be zeros. So 0.000. So there's 4 digits before that 8. For the second one, that -2 is telling me there are 2 digits before the 4. So that's 0.0. There's our 2 digits, and then the 4. -4 once again means there are 4 digits before the 6. So 0.000. There's the 4 digits, and then the 6. And then we've got 0.07 as it is. So the smallest of those is this one here. So 6 times 10 to the -4 is the smallest. Then the next smallest is this one here, because 8 is slightly bigger than that 6. So that would be 8 times 10 to the -4. The next smallest is this one here, because 4 is smaller than 7. So that's 4 times 10 to the -2. And that leaves the largest as 0.07. And that is the end of that exam paper.